To replace the rear wiper motor, you will need to remove the trunk hatch cover first. Begin by opening your trunk to access the inside. Use a trim removal tool to disconnect the driver's side inner trunk light from its housing, blue arrow. Disconnect the inner trunk light by pressing the release tab on the electrical connection, blue arrow. Use a trim removal tool to disconnect the cover of the rear trunk release actuator, blue arrow. Remove the two T20 Torx screws inside the handle of the trunk light. Pull open the panel on the hatch cover, red arrow. Remove the two T20 Torx screws inside the panel, red arrows. Use a trim removal tool to disconnect both the inner trunk light and the trunk button on the passenger side, red arrow. There is one T20 Torx screw located inside the trunk button housing that you will need to remove, blue arrow. Disconnect the inner trunk light and trunk button by pressing the release tab on the electrical connection. Work your way around the edge of the trunk hatch cover and pull it straight down to disconnect the clips indicated by the red arrow. Once off, you can set the trunk hatch cover aside. Be sure to check and replace any missing push clips. Use a piece of painter's tape to mark the original position of the rear wiper blade for installation, red arrow. Remove the rear wiper blade cover by lifting around the bottom of the edge. Remove the rear wiper fluid nozzle by pulling it off of its friction fit, red arrow. Use a 13mm socket to remove the nut holding the wiper arm to the motor, red arrow. This nut can be commonly rusted due to the exposure of the fluid. You may need to use a lubing agent to help loosen it like we have. Use a pick to disconnect the clip holding the wiper fluid line to the wiper motor, red arrow. Disconnect the wiper motor electrical connection by pressing the release tab, red arrow. Use a 10mm socket to remove the 3 nuts holding the wiper motor to the trunk, red arrows. Make sure you have a hand ready to hold the wiper motor so it does not drop out of its mount. Pull the wiper motor directly out of its mounting. Make sure not to damage the glass while doing so. Installation is the reverse of removal. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and check out another video in this series.